Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a smile on my face, and the reason is the GR Research NXtreme speakers are finished. The build is finally done, and I've been listening to music the last few days, and I'm definitely impressed. Spoiler alert. They're fantastic and will compete with virtually any speakers I've ever heard. But I'll go into the performance aspects in a separate video. What I think, this is a summary of and my feedback, and I really think it entails, before I even get to the end product and performance, that I walk you through the whole build process and feedback there to make sure that the mindset is right for whether it's even worth, going that to the end result. And the analogy I'll use, no analogy is ever perfect, so bear with me here, but I talked about it in my very first video for this, is that this was the last bastion I had to overcome in the hobby. And a bastion is like a fortress, okay? So let's imagine you had to get from point A to point B. The most direct route is through this fortress. But there are some easy ways around. You pay a guy enough money, he'll take you on a secret route around the fortress, one way or the other, and you can get to your end result easier, albeit at a cost or whatever. Or you can go through that fortress. You're going to have to cross the moat, go against defenses, maybe call in reinforcements. But you'll get there, without the cost and issues of going around. And that's how I would kind of frame this process, going to do-it-yourself route. You're going to be going through a fortress. You're going to have challenges to overcome that you don't have when you buy from a dealer, buy direct. And even when you contract out maybe a custom project with Steve McCormick, he's doing the work for you. So those are, 3MA, fantastic dealer. That's who you should buy, stuff from. You're going the dealer route. And 99% of you want that, these are toys. These are grown-up toys. We don't want assembly required. At Christmas, you remember those toys were a pain in the ass. You want to go straight to playing with the toy. So for 99%, at least 90%, people want to buy the product and listen to it, and the end result is all that matters. Getting it in their hands and set up and ready to go at high level. So the do-it-yourself route that I went here is not for you. If you're doing it just to avoid the cost of going around, that's the wrong reason to do this project. Because inevitably, as soon as you start encountering the moat and the defenses and the different challenges that you're going to encounter on the project, now you may not have the same ones I had with shipping damage, bad driver, but you may mess up something, you may solder something wrong, damage something, paint something wrong. There are going to be challenges with a speaker this big, 22 drivers. There's very few speakers on the planet that have this many drivers. So you're putting together something that is, most companies don't even do, okay, on their own. So in order to have the right mindset, you have to embrace the fact that you're going to be encountering challenges, and overcoming them has to give you a level of satisfaction almost to the level of that end result. And that's kind of the mindset I had going in, is yeah, I got frustrated. Yeah, I was tired of waiting and impatient at times. But as soon as I glued them all together, I was just so satisfied that night that I was able to get them glued together. Then when I did the paint scheme and this black and white theme that now looks so cool really turned out. You can see the LEDs in the back. This really looks cool, and I got the lights off. I'm really happy with the things that I was able to do, modify, customize. Those things mean as much to me as the end result. So you have to have that mindset, though, because inevitably it does get frustrating and there are issues. Now, again, I did this all during COVID, so there were additional issues with order fulfillment, and I've seen that comment, and a lot of people frustrated, and people have said, that I just don't like waiting this long. We don't get any knowledge of when it's coming. And let's talk about the customer service aspect. Yeah, I'll grade Danny on a little bit of a curve for both COVID and another reason. He's doing high volume at low margin. He's basically doing the Chinese model, giving you a really great value, high volume, low margin. You're not going to get the level of, even Amazon, where they tell you exactly when something's going to be delivered, push notifications. And Amazon now delivers the stuff. They'll open my garage and put my boxes in my garage. You know, you don't get that level of, and we're spoiled because of that. But you're not going to get that with Danny, but you do get direct access to him. I've gone to his house. I've called him on the phone. You know, maybe he doesn't remember you all the time, like somebody like a dealer will, or Steve McCormick does, because of the volume he does. But, you know, I still give him an A for customer service. Now, I run a lot of businesses, small and large. I used to consult with many big businesses, small business. I know operation, know customer service, know how important vendors are. And that's one area where I will give some constructive feedback, is that I did have to reach out to Danny to find out what the status was. I did have to find, you know, constantly email, and he would give me replies, you know, within a day or two. But it was always like, oh, it's coming in November. Yeah, of course, November would come. Then, oh, January, no, February, no, March. You know, I didn't end up getting the drivers to June, in short. But so basically, he wasn't lying to me. I knew that's what his vendor was probably telling him. And again, COVID excuses are fine, but if somebody keeps on making you look bad and telling you things that you're telling your customers that over and over and over and over don't transpire, that to me can be a problem over the long haul, because that level of a vendor is really just telling you what you want to hear versus telling you the truth. And over the long haul, vendors like that, I tend to avoid with my business. Now, the drivers are great. I did have that one failed driver. So again, it may skew my opinion of this particular vendor of his, but that's the only area that I would nix him on overall feedback wise, is that vendor gave him a lot of bad information and I had a bad driver. Just don't, and it really just quality control of pushing in the driver. You could tell that scratchiness. There probably is no quality control before it goes out. Maybe there is, maybe I'm just 1 in a million chance. I'm just going by what I saw, both with the feedback he was getting from them and telling us of when it was coming, and then what I had with a bad driver. So take that as you may see fit. I still give Danny as a whole an A on customer service, because I was able to go to his place, contact him by phone, contact him by email, and relatively soon got replies. So, and given that he's doing low margin, high volume, that I give him, you know, extra points for that. Other than that, I think the CNC, the guy Jay who does the cabinets, I actually give him an A as well, even though I had the shipping damage. Look, I've just went to a guy who bought MBL Extremes. He had shipping damage, okay? So MBL Extremes, you know, GR Research, they all can have shipping damage. Sometimes you have to evaluate a company on how they react to things that go wrong. And Jay was very accommodating, sent me a totally new replacement pack. It just took a while because MDF is in demand with COVID and all that. So I totally understood. And I give, you know, that vendor, Jay, an A on the CNC pack. Everything was CNC'd very well, sanded good. I didn't have to do much sanding, although you always have to do a little bit. But, I mean, everything was cut well. And even some of the feedback I gave on the original packaging, they implemented that on the next packaging. And even though the box was more damaged, the second time around, I had no damage with the internal cabinet. So I don't think that that's going to be a major issue going forward, but it can happen on no matter crated MBL Extremes I saw damaged. Okay, so let's just say A on most all of his other vendors and all of his support staff. He's been hiring Killian. I've dealt with him and just recently met Joey, I think his name. You know, one thing when you're a growing business like Danny is, you can have just as much trouble with indigestion as you can with starvation in revenues. So he's growing fast. He seems to be getting good help, and that's a good sign. So it's very important, though, that indigestion doesn't become a problem, as he's doing now, these really inexpensive mini speakers, doing really high volume on that. So, you know, that would be my only caution, is that, you know, making sure he deals with any issues with indigestion as much as starvation. But I think he is on track. And I give him thumbs up in all those areas. So hopefully that gives you a better picture from the build aspect of mindset you need to have, challenges that you need to embrace and know that are coming, and then dealing with Danny and GR Research, all the positives, mostly all positives in that aspect. In the next video, I'm going to start talking about the performance, benchmarking them against other speakers, and let's just face it, I'll have plenty of music clips because these aren't going anywhere. I had to build them in this room because they're so big. It would be hard for me to even get them out of here. So I'm committed, but luckily they sound fantastic. But, you know, I'm going to have tons of music clips over all my videos in the future with these. But I listen to my music tracks, my reference tracks, over 160 of them, at 3 different volume levels, 1 time through, 2 times through, 3 times, to really understand performance. Because sometimes I will go through and it won't be till like song 80 something that I hear an issue at certain frequency or a certain cabinet resonance or certain thing that I need to either tweak with EQ, positioning, stuff like that. You know, you really have to have a wide variety of material, and even at different volumes, different things can be excited or sound worse, they're better. So I haven't even gone through all of that level yet. So let me do all of that, and I'm gonna give you a very comprehensive feedback. Spoiler alert though, already, you know, right up there with the very best I've heard. So sign up, subscribe, and I'll see you back here soon.